What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you something that's fairly simple to do with your CZ P-01. It's funny though, it's not out there a ton on the internet, or at least there's no great informational videos to kind of show you how to do this process. We're just simply going to be switching the magazine release from the left side of the gun to the right side. So the first thing we're going to do, obviously when working with firearms, should always do it, is we're going to clear the gun. So we're just going to rack the slide back. Nothing in there. Drop it forward. We're going to drop the hammer. Now, if you've never had a CZ or haven't broken one down before, it's really simple. All we're going to do is we're going to slide the slide partially back, depress the little pin, and then we're going to remove the slide release. So we're just going to pull the slide slightly back. I'm going to do this with the rubber end of a screwdriver to pop that thing out so it doesn't mar the gun at all. So slide it back. Give it a nice little push. This is a newer gun, so it's going to be a little bit stiff. There we go. We're going to pull back in. Just pop right out. And there we go. The gun is disassembled. We no longer need the slide anymore. So the first thing, whenever you open up your CZ, you'll see right here on top, there is a little screw, and I'll show you that on the phone camera so you can get a better look at it. So we can see the screw sitting right here. It's sitting on top of the two springs. We actually need to get to the bottom spring, so we are going to remove this screw. To do that, all you're going to need is a little flathead screwdriver. I've just got the little file in my Leatherman here. So we're just going to unscrew that. Okay, so we're going to put that over here. Now, you kind of want to be careful because there are two different springs in here. Again, I'll show you on the iPhone camera so you get a better look. So these two different springs that we're looking at this one on top right here. This is not the one we need to get to. We need to get to the one underneath right here. So we're just simply going to lift this one up partially, and then we can get to our second spring that actually holds the mag release in place. So we're just going to lift this one. I mean, it's fairly simple, pretty light. You can do that easily. The second one, I'm actually going to get my pair of pliers on my Leatherman and just going to lift it up slightly. You'll feel it actually release from the mag release itself. I'm just going to go in here, grab the top of it. It's hard to show, and I'm just going to lift it slightly. You're going to feel it release. Now, what I just did, you don't normally want to do. You don't want this to fall out. I'll show you how to put it back in. It's fairly simple. It can just be a little annoying. Whenever you take it out, just lift it up just a hair. You'll feel it let go, and then your mag release will simply come out. Okay, and now before we actually put that back in, we're going to get this little spring back in first. It's really simple. It's kind of annoying, so don't let it fall out if you can help it. It was a mistake that I let it fall out. But it's really simple to get back in. All you're going to need is your pair of pliers. And I'll kind of show you, there is a little groove that runs right down here, if you can see. It runs, there's the top, that's where our screw is going to sit. And then this groove that runs straight down to where you can see that the mag release is missing. That's where that spring is going to sit. So you just got to kind of squeeze it with your pair of pliers and set it back into place. All you're going to want to do is this little ring right here is where the spring is going to sit. All you're going to do is, it's kind of a tight space, so grab it kind of from the top. Give it a little squeeze. That should fit right back in our groove. We're simply going to slide it back in. I know this is hard to see for you guys. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the spring back into the groove. You simply just have to put these two legs kind of down into this groove. It can be a bit of a pain, but it's not a really difficult thing to do. Now what we're simply going to do is slide the mag release up underneath the two legs of this spring. So you have to make sure you raise it up just enough to clear where the mag release sits. So just to show you guys that this is the mag release itself, this little gap right here is where the feet of that spring is going to sit. It's just going to sit, it's going to squeeze between those two, and whenever you push it side to side, that's what gives you the resistance, or the feet of that little spring. So we're going to put the little fatter textured end, and we're going to put it on the right side of the gun. So we're just simply going to slide that mag release back into place. and it will fall out again if you don't kind of hold it in place. That little gap that I showed you on the mag release, all we're going to do is set the feet of that spring in that gap. It's going to be hard to show on the camera. I probably won't actually be able to do it. All you're going to do, there's a few different ways to actually get the feet to sit into the gap itself. The best way I found is to simply push down on the spring, and then you're just going to wiggle your mag release side to side. And then you'll feel one foot fall into it, and then the second whenever you move the slide, or whenever you move the release back the opposite way. So we're just going to push down on it, and then the feet are going to drop right into place, like that. And then I'll show you kind of how it's going to look once we're done. We're going to lay that other spring back on top. That is how we're looking when we're done. One spring sitting right on top of the other. That spring, and you're going to feel a little bit of tension now on that mag release. Don't play with it too much because that spring can fall out again, and you don't want that to happen because it's very annoying to put back into place. Now what we're simply going to do is we're going to take our screw that we took out, and we're just going to put it back into place, and then we're done. Alright, spring's back in place. Don't over tighten it, just kind of keep it hand tight and don't really wrench down on it. You don't really need to, it's not holding a ton down, it's just to hold those two springs into place. Now, our mag release is nice and stiff. It feels like it should work just fine. We're going to put our gun back together. So, same thing we did before. We're just going to make sure, just pull it back. You'll feel it kind of whenever that drops into place. Then you just push it home, then you're done. It's good to go. We'll make sure the mag release works just fine. Empty magazine, as we can see. Drops free. Perfect. That's pretty much it, guys. It's a super simple process. I actually find it easier than a Glock, especially when that spring stays in place. It's a piece of cake to do. If you found the video helpful, leave it a like, leave it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. And if you didn't like it, also, let me know why down in the comments. I'll try and work on that. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one.